Hey guys,
Hi,
how's it going? I'm Jason here at Roofsnap.
I'm Katrina.
Thanks for joining us today. We have some exciting news.
We do.
We have just released this week Roofsnap on Android. Yay! Today what we want to do is go in and show you what the first release looks like. We're going to use an Android tablet, the Nexus 7-inch tablet, and we're going to pull up an address and draw the roof and generate a measurement report. And of course, there are other functions that you may have seen on our website, or if you've used the iOS app before. Over the next few months, we will be releasing more and more functionality within the Android version. But as far as a first release goes, we can draw from a high-resolution near-map image, get our accurate measurements, and generate a detailed measurement report.
Great.
Yes. We're pretty much going to jump right in, but I do want to remind everyone to go to our website, check out our Sketchos, our pricing information, all that stuff. Go to www.roofsnap.com. The reason I mentioned Sketchos is for any of you who are watching this, if you're not terribly excited about drawing it all out yourself, compare our Sketchos pricing, which is when we draw it and upload it into your account. Compare that with what you might already be spending on those pre-made measurement reports. We find that a lot of the customers that we have that come over and either start drawing themselves using Roofsnap or start ordering from us through our Sketchos service are saving enormous amounts of money. So have a look at that, but let's go ahead and transition over and show you Roofsnap. By the way, we're still down here in the corner. So here's Roofsnap. This is the login screen, but let me actually go over to the Google Play Store. And I'm going to go hit the little back button here. There we go. So when we're on the Google Play Store, if we search for Roofsnap, you'll see our little icon with our app show up. Tap on that. Play the little video if you want to get some more information about it. Oh, I think I just played it. So we've already installed, so it's playing.
It's totally playing.
There, let's pause that.
Well, at least you know it works.
There we
Great.
go. So we can update, we can look at some of the different screenshots of what Roofsnap might look like on your device, on maybe a 10-inch tablet or 7-inch tablet, or even on your phone. Totally can use it on your phone. You can then scroll down and look at our different reviews and so forth and so on.
Absolutely.
So let's jump right over into Roofsnap. For anyone who does not have a Roofsnap subscription already, please feel free to tap on the sign up button. What this is going to do is take you to our registration page, and we do give all of our users a free 2-week trial before any subscription starts, where you can try out the app, make sure it's a good fit for you. And then, of course, on our website, you can see some of the different subscription packages that we have. I'm going to go ahead and jump back over into the app. You'll see I've already put in my password. And now I just need to type in the email address that is associated with my Roofsnap account.
We're about to log in on the Android version. This is all very exciting.
I tapped on there we go.
Capital.
I'm not used to these little keys. I usually use a larger tablet, so I have to get a custom. There we go, jason@roofsnap.com. That's my email address for all of you to know. Email me. Well, yeah,
Only
email
nice
me.
things.
Email me and let me know what you think. And let's tap on the login button. Okay, so this is cool. The first thing that we see is the project screen. We can see any of the projects that I have previously created. But not only that, we can filter. So let me tap on the little filter button in the upper right-hand corner. See this little circular
Little ghost
white
button.
ghost circle that's moving around? This is called this is my touch point. This is where my finger's actually touching on the screen. So as we show you how to draw out the roof, you'll see when and where my fingers are actually touching the screen by these little white circles. So let's tap on filter. And I'm going to change, and since I'm the admin, I can filter by any of my sub-users. So instead of having to log out and log back in, I can see what they're working on just by filtering. So let's tap on Corey. Now I'll get to see all of the different test projects that Corey's been working on here in his account. or I can filter back as myself. And then I can add another filter by my office. So let's say I want to see just what's in the Roofsnap demo office. And then I want to filter by status. So let's see, I just want my new leads. So let's go to new leads and tap on that. Now I've filtered by all those criteria.
That's new to our features.
Yeah,
is it
we don't
not?
actually have that ability on iOS to filter by multiple filters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is great.
So for today, I just want to see what's in my account. So let's go back and just select username and filter as Jason. There we go. And then let's go ahead and draw a roof.
Great.
I've got an address picked out already.
Perfect.
All right. So let's come down here to the plus button in the bottom right. This is how you start a new project. Let's go ahead and give it a name. Web in our for Android. And then let's put it in the right office. You may have multiple offices, one for maybe insurance, one for residential. If you've just signed up, you might still have the sample office. So if that's the case, go ahead and put it in your sample office. We'll call this guy John. And then we'll go ahead and put in the address. So Katrina, take over while I type out this address here real quick.
So what we're doing now is putting in the details of the project. And when Jason's done typing in the address here, he'll scroll down and show you the other fields that you can input here that are going to be tied to the project, such as billing information, insurance details, things like that that you might need to know and have a record of, and you'll be able to enter that in here. But essentially, by putting in the address, this is going to kind of lock that in to this project. Now, we can go back and edit any of this stuff. So if you want to sketch a roof out before you go on site, the night before, you can always go back into the detail screen and edit and enter in that information that you might need.
Absolutely. As Katrina was saying, we can enter in phone numbers, billing information, insurance details, the whole works. Whatever information you put on here is going to show up on the documents that you generate down the road. So let's go ahead and tap on the Done button. I've got the information in here I need, and you'll see that it will have created a new project here at the top called Webinar for Android.
Great.
And when we tap on that, it's going to open up the project home.
Perfect.
So here we have 4 different tiles at the moment, or 4 different giant squares, buttons that you can tap on. One for sketching, one to look at the detail screen and go back and make those edits like you had said earlier. Then the measurements and the documents. Now we can't do measurements or documents yet, we have to draw the roof. So let's tap right on the sketch button here. Hopefully they can see my little finger taps. And whenever I'm touching and holding on the screen, like I am right now as I zoom in, see I've got 2 circles. Those are where my fingers are. I just started in the center and pulled out to zoom in all the way. And then if I rotate up and down, up with one side, down with the other, I can change the rotation of the image. Now this Google image, because this is the default imagery, because Google's what plots the address for us, puts the little pin right on the roof for us.
Great.
But it's not really straight.
Yeah.
Can see the
that
sides
setting.
of the house, yeah. So one of the things that we've implemented here in our first release is near map high resolution imagery. Let's go ahead and take a look at this button here in the upper left hand corner. This button's only going to appear when Nearmap has coverage for this address, for the address that you've searched. If that button's not there, it just simply means that you must be in more of a rural location where Nearmap does not have imagery for that address.
Sure.
But for this one, we have it. Let's go ahead and tap on it. So I tap here. Purchase price, $5. So Nearmap, their integration doesn't come free. They, they're a publicly traded company. They do charge for access to their imagery. So we're going to have a $5 usage charge for this image. We scroll down, we can see though that they have multiple available dates of imagery.
Wow, so they've flown how many times?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times for this address. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of them have been in the early spring before the leaves grow.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
So let's go ahead and tap on the purchase button. Now it's going to remind us that we need to be zoomed in all the way and we won't be able to make adjustments past a certain point. So let's go ahead and move past that. Now the purchase has been completed, so it gives us one final reminder to align the roof before we tap on the snap and start drawing. But not only can we align it, we can also tap on the date in the upper left-hand corner and change the date. So let's look at all of the spring images.
Great.
Let's go to the other March. You know, that rake on the rakes on the outside aren't really straight. Shadows aren't bad, but those rakes are a little crooked. So let's go and change it to the next one. Now this one's better, but I still have a little bit of crookedness on the rakes in the front, and I like to find the best, most top-down image.
Sure.
And the shadows are a bit heavy here on the backside as well. So let's go to April 15th. And that's a great image. That's what we want. So here is where we're going to come down, and we're going to try to get this image nice and square in the screen using our horizontal line and our vertical line.
Kind of rotate it a bit.
Yep.
And this is good to kind of square this up. Jason's going to make sure both ridges are kind of square on those cursor tails there. And that's going to allow for straight drawing, kind of easy measuring. So make sure you're nice and square before you hit that snap and start drawing. And lock that image in.
And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I think that's about as straight as I'm going to get it today. So let's go ahead and tap on the Snap and Start Drawing button in the upper right-hand corner just after I put it center in the screen.
Sure. All right.
So once we hit Snap and Start Drawing, it's going to load this project into sort of the draw screen, all the drawing functionality here. Now we start in pan and zoom because we do need to be able to move the image around and zoom in on different sections, right? So let's go ahead and draw this back section first. I'm going to hit the draw button. The first thing you'll notice when I hit the draw button is this little drawer pops out, and this drawer can be slid open and closed by tapping in the gray area. But let's take a quick peek at the Google Street View. Tap on that.
Whoa.
And one thing interesting on Android devices is, you see, as I move the tablet, it actually moves the camera. I can turn that off by tapping this little button over here that looks like a phone. I'm tapping it right now multiple times. And once I hit that button, it sort of locks the image, and then I can just use my own gestures on the screen to move it around.
Mm-hmm.
The goal here is, just to see the house, make sure there aren't any bay windows or any, basically see it from ground level.
Sure.
If we're not on site, this is really going to come in handy.
Absolutely.
Now, when we go into the other one, Bing's bird's eye view, this is going to load in directional imagery that we can also rotate all the way around the house and even see the back of the house.
That's great. That could give us some more insight on what's going on.
I'm always looking for the bay window, but also notice here, we can see the low slopeness of that back section where it's steeper going down the front. Let's rotate again. There's a chimney on the back of the house. Side of the house, we can see that low sloped area again on the very back. Kind of get a sense of the pitch as well. Of course, we always recommend that you double check pitch on site and confirm. Take your device right up on the roof with you or right into the driveway, and you can change the pitch values once you've confirmed on site. Go ahead and hit the done button there. All right, I think I'm ready to draw some lines.
Great.
This functionality here is pretty simple. I've got one finger on the screen. And when I place my finger at the starting point of the first line, I tap on the screen. I don't know if you saw that, but I'll do it again. So when I get to the end of the line, I'm going to tap on the screen again. I've got my first line.
Great.
Now let's just do it again on the other side of the roof. You can draw lines in any order, but as soon as I set my line and I tap on the screen, then I can drag out. And this time I'm not going to pick my drawing finger up at all. I'm going to tap, and then I'm going to continue across. See, as I go, the measurement of the line changes, but as soon as I bring the edge of that line with my cursor to another point, it snaps to it, and I tap on the screen, and it locks it in. Now I do have to draw the eave across the back here to complete my drawing of this facet. So I've got all four lines on this facet drawn. switch to the facets mode, and it's highlighted.
Great.
The highlightedness is what we're looking for. All right, so now let's go ahead and draw down the rake on this side, and then come and tap, and come right back up the valley to right about there and tap. Once I've tapped, then I could take my finger off the screen.
What happens if you don't tap and you take your finger off the screen?
I'll show you. Let's come down the valley on the other side. Tap to start. But if I don't tap and I just take my finger off, the line goes away. I have to tap to lock in that second point. Every line has 2 points, the starting point and the ending point. Sometimes you're connecting it to another line. Sometimes you're making it a new point that you're going to draw other lines to.
Gotcha.
So here, we'll go back, put it on that starting point and tap, and then come down and tap again. As soon as I get, see how my horizontal line, I want it right through the center of the gutter. That was the goal. That's my effort to get this drawing not only accurate, but pretty.
Using those cursor tails to help you out there.
Yep, so here we tapped to draw the line down the ridge. This time I'm not gonna pick up, I'm gonna tap and then turn. Come down to the eave edge there, tap and then turn, and connect to the bottom of that valley. With one final tap, then I can pick up my finger.
Great.
Zoom in on this area here. Going to tap to start the line off the bottom of the valley. Get to the edge of the eave, tap, and come up the rake, connect, and tap. Now we're going to draw across the eave along the front. Tap to start the line. Tap to make the turn. I did not pick up my finger, I just made the turn. And then tap and turn again and come off the ridge, come over the ridge. Tap again when I get to the rake, and then tap to lock it in at the top of the rake.
Great.
So let's see how I'm doing so far. Let's hit facets and see what's highlighted. Okay, 4 of the 5 facets are highlighted. So let's come down here, zoom in. Now, we've got to draw this lower section, but as many of you may already notice, this lower section is going to have some underhang. So as I come down the rake on the right side, tap to start the line, tap as soon as I get to the bottom. Oh, I didn't tap. I bumped, but I didn't tap. So I didn't get this one nice and straight. So let me show you a feature here. When you put your cursor on the screen and set it on a point and let it sit there for about a second, it'll pick that point back up and you can move it around and put it exactly where you want it to be. Lock it back in by tapping the screen. That sort of locks the point back where it's not going to move.
Perfect. And when you hover like that and grab a point, you'll notice the cursor does turn blue. It turns from red to blue, letting you know you've grabbed that point and you can move it now.
Now I've started from that point and I've tapped on the screen, but I'm not going to try to connect it to that rake because this is an eave. It's 5 feet below or 10 feet below that that rake. So I'm going to come past and actually create an underhang. I'm going to go about a foot or so past. I might have went 1.5 feet. We'll just say these are very big overhangs on this one. And then here I'm going to come up the step wall all the way to the top, and then I'm just going to tap and make a little connector line, and I've got my underhang. And you know what? That's a little bit too big. I'm just not excited about it being that large. So let's go ahead and press and hold. And you saw it turn color and pick up the line. Now when I switch to facets, something interesting is going to happen. We're going to see double shading to denote the upper level and the lower level as they overhang one another.
Great.
Okay, well, we've got all the lines drawn and we've got all the facets highlighted, so let's go ahead and label all the lines.
All right.
Let's start with the eaves. We tap on edges and we get a list of all the labels. Mm-hmm. But if we tap on eave, we'll see that it highlights. But there's a little arrow there, and an arrow lets you know there's something more to happen if you tap on it a second time. So we tap on it a second time, and we can add ice and water shield, eave edge, which is our designation for drip edge metal, and gutters. Let's go ahead and add all 3 of these sub-labels in addition to eaves. Now we can just tap on roughly the center of each edge line and label it as eave.
Great.
Now for some of these lines we'll have to zoom in, but for most of them we'll be able to just label them here in full view. So let's go to rakes. Let's tap on rakes a second time and add rake edge just to the rakes. And again, tapping on, roughly the center of each rake. Now these last two rakes are going to be hard to get until I zoom in. So let's come back to rakes. First, then we'll go to ridge. We'll tap on ridge vent. And again, we'll tap on all of the ridge lines roughly in the center of each line. Then we'll hit the back button, go down to valleys, because we don't have any hips on this roof. As I always like to say, these hips don't apply. With valleys, we can label ice and water shield and add ice and water shield directly to the valleys. And then now we do need to zoom in and get closer for these last couple lines here. So let's go back to rakes. Now you'll notice rakes, the rake edge is already highlighted. It remembers whatever sublabels you've previously applied.
That's convenient.
Absolutely. So there I was able to tap on that rake and add those rake edge labels. And then the last two that we have are step flashing. So let's go and tap on step, but tap on step a second time and you can add ice and water shield and step flashing. Because you might have some areas where the step flashing does not need to be replaced, but you still want to know it's a step wall. But then you might have some areas where the step flashing does need to be replaced, and you can label some step with step flashing and some step without. Gotcha. It's all up to you. So we'll go ahead and tap on the step line and the little connector and make both of those step flashing. Now we can zoom all the way back out. And we have various different pitch values on the roof. I'm somewhat familiar with this roof. I think I've drawn it a couple times now. Mm-hmm. So let's start with pitch. Well, no, let's start with remove. The remove tool can come in handy when you need to turn off and on different areas just to see what they apply to. So I can turn off and on these different sections and see which each facet number applies to which overall facet. That one's the more interesting one because we can actually see the more difficult shape that it is, complex shape that it is. Now with pitch, let's tap on pitch here in the menu on the right, and let's start with the 312. This back section here is 3, so we're going to tap on the 0 and turn it to 3. Then the rest of the main slopes of the roof are, you remember this one, don't you?
Vaguely.
I want to say it's 6 and 5. 6 on the fronts and 5s on the other two slopes. So 6 on the two fronts, so we just tap on those to make them 6. And then we switch it to 5, and we tap on 5 for the other two and label them as 5.
You have a better memory than I do.
No, I'm pretty sure. And we just saw it from the bird's eye view, which helped me kind of remember what the different sections look like. Now, of course, you always want to verify your pitch values on site. You do have the apply to all button here, so if the roof is all the same slope, you can just select the pitch and then tap on the apply to all button, and you'll get all the pitches on all the facets changed at one time.
Perfect. But
let's go ahead and move to the back button here. 2-story, if you need to add for some second story areas to denote between first story, you can do that. 2-layer, of course, you won't be able to do that until you get on site and you actually inspect for the number of layers. And then low slope. Low slope is an interesting label. It does denote areas that are low slope, but what it's really doing is telling the software, telling your measurements to say, okay, this area is being separated out from the rest of the areas that are going to have shingles installed. Low slope is really only for areas that are going to get like a membrane application, like if you have a cricket, or if you have, not necessarily a cricket, if you have a dead valley, you might label dead valley as low slope and it'll calculate out that area separately for the purposes of putting a different material down.
Gotcha.
It basically means no shingles.
Gotcha.
For most of our users. Shingles not going here on low slope area. And that's pretty much it, Katrina. We've got the facets. We've got the edges all labeled with sub-labels, and we've got all the lines drawn. So let's go ahead and tap on the Done button.
Perfect.
That was fast.
That was so fast.
Yeah. Now we can come down here to measurements because we do have measurements. Tap on the green measurements button, and you'll see that the waste percentage right now is currently set to a 10% default, but I can change that. I can make it, let's say 8%.
Okay. Go
ahead and click on the little checkbox there, and it's recalculated our total squares based on the 8% waste percentage.
Wonderful.
25.34 squares. We can scroll down and review all of our line measurements. We can review all of the category measurements, see how much total ice and water shield needs to be installed in all the different areas where we labeled it, the eaves, the valleys, and the step walls. Rake edge, that's for the metal. Eave edge, that's for the metal. Step flashing, gutters, 120 and a half feet of gutters. Now we can hit the back button up here, right next to project measurements. Come back out to the home screen and generate a document.
Great.
So go ahead, you do the honors.
Yes.
Tap on documents.
And I'm going to tap on the sketch report button
In the upper right-hand corner, yep.
I'm going to load this into a PDF for me.
Yep.
Oh, it's so exciting.
I mean, it's fun for us to be able to see this on a brand new device. It looks new. It looks modern. It has all of the Android sort of design style and functionality. So now we have the sketch report PDF.
I'm going to touch on that PDF line
Yep,
here.
so you just tap right on the PDF, and it's going to open up the document on your Android device. Some documents are going to open in different sort of PDF readers within Android. But I believe because this is opened up in Google's something or other, the Google Drive is already an option, a button right there. So if you wanted to upload it to your Google Drive, you tap on, let's see, there we go, this little guy right here. But let's look at the document before I show you how to email it and do other things with it. So I'm going to scroll down. We see the primary near map image at the top, all the customer information. If we had added billing and all that, it would be added to that section as well. Of course, your company logo can be uploaded into your Roofsnap account through our website, and then that logo would appear on this document as well, instead of ours. And then as we scroll down, you'll see a breakdown of the roof by pitch. And then when we go to the next page, you're going to see a breakdown of all the measurements and all of the labels, and you can really zoom in on that. Then we're going to see all of the category measurements and line measurements and total square counts. A breakdown by pitch, all the same measurements that we just reviewed, but here in a PDF document that you can email to an adjuster, your production person, your crew, whoever needs to have a look at this. And then I believe there's one more page here. Yes, a breakdown by area. So you can actually see the total number of squares for all of the different areas of the roof.
Wonderful.
Now let's go back up to the top. There we go. And tap on the 3 dots in the far right. See that there? Here we can send the file, download the file, print the file. So let's tap on Send File. Now we have the option to use our Gmail, our Drive, our Android, Beam, or Bluetooth. Let's see, Gmail. And now we have to allow Gmail to access this stuff, so we'll hit Allow. And Roofsnap Dev. So we could go ahead and email this attachment to whomever, as long as you have your email account set up within your Android device. All right, let's see. Let's go back to Roofsnap. And oh, sorry guys, I think I accidentally logged out.
Oops, you hit the back button.
Yeah, whenever you, oh no, I didn't log out. I just
great.
went back. It just must have saved. So that's good. So if I do hit the back button, it did take me back and it saved that project. But of course I can reopen it by tapping on it, go right back into the sketch. So if I need to go back and take a look at the sketch, so again, on Android, the back button doesn't take you back within Roofsnap. It actually takes you back, like back out of what the project that you were in.
Yeah.
It's not an undo button. It's not meant to replace the actual undo drawing buttons that you have or anything else like that. So if you wanted to make changes, you could make changes here and then click the done button. But if you don't want to make any changes, just click on, or tap on, I guess, the cancel. Are you sure you want to leave without saving? Yes, let's leave. All right, and now even the image has loaded into that little tile section there right in the description.
Great.
So you'll see that the project map, we're building that. It's coming soon. The dashboard, of course, is coming soon. So there's a few things that we're working on that you may or may not be familiar with that are all coming soon. That being said, let's transition back over to our full-size faces. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We were thrilled to be able to go through the first release of Roofsnap on Android. We'll be doing more demos on more devices here over the next 2 weeks, I'd say.
Sure.
And then as every new feature comes out, we'll do another video showing the new functionality and the new feature. So please feel free to join us live or check out more of our videos. If you'd like to see another video right now, we're going to put one right here. And if you like what we're doing and you want to subscribe to our channel,
We'll put that right here.
yeah, we'll put it right up there. And then if you want to go to our website and register for a 14-day trial, we'll put that right here. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.